All right, we are live.
Ah! Woo! Oh my God. We are so live. This poor guy is going to be late on the first day. He's going to be petrified. If he said he's coming, I would not get Audrey here to be doing that. And I'm just so glad to be here tonight. You know why I'm glad to be here? Because I made it. That's why. And also, I have to tell you something. You really got to do your homework when you're interviewing people. There's this woman by the name of Renee Taylor. She played the grandmother or the mother of the nanny. And I did not know, like, really what an actress she was. I knew nothing about the nanny. I'm just learning about it because during that time, I guess I was going out and didn't know about it. I knew I met her on the plane. She was very nice. Me, her, and Joan Rivers had the same oral surgeon. I know about it. I know. That's the things I know. And there's another person who also is a client of ours, of his. I can't do an impression because I'll get in trouble when I go to New York. Because he can't stand that one. It's funny how when people don't like a comic, they don't like a comic. And usually a comic doesn't talk. Comedians are normally very, very introverted. I'm very shy. I know you don't believe that, but I'm very shy when I go out. I don't like, you know that. You get mad at me, Mark, but I know. Plus he has all these racist friends. And they're so racist. It's horrible. It's horrible. They watch me go up to get fruit, and then I say to them, you thought I was getting watermelon? My best friends are black. I didn't say that, right? All I said was, you were thinking I was getting watermelon. And then, right, no, my best friends are black. And I like watermelon, the other woman says, and I love watermelon. And I went up and I got my watermelon. And the freaking director says, hey, you didn't see your husband for 3 weekends. Did he give you the high, hard one? I was like... And then I clutched my pearls. I look down and I see that he has all these scabs where he's growing hair. Like, nobody warned me about that. Like, if you want to get a weave, like, get something to cover it. So that's my white people experience. It's just too much. It's so hard, really. It's just so hard trying to function. So Mark says to me, we have to go to this event. I said, my mother's dying. He goes, I don't care. You have to come on in. The water's fine. How you doing? Oh, I was just talking about partners, okay? Have a seat. This is Max. We were talking about him. We tricked you. This is an AA meeting. Hi, Max. No, I'm kidding. Oh, my God. This poor man. Zach. Is it fucking Zach or Max? It's Zach. It is Zach.
It is another Jewish name.
No. I have Zach. But I have Whites. Is that wrong?
No, that's right.
That's right? Yeah. What's mine? Kroonquist?
That's right.
How do you know?
I just watched your video on YouTube while I was driving.
Oh, my God. It's good to know that he can watch TV and drive. And
I have a Tesla, so it drives by itself.
oh, damn. He got a Tesla. How come I can't fight back when those kids are writing on it? Why can't I say, you don't touch me?
I mean, I wish I didn't get that edition. So.
You didn't get that edition, right? But you love your Tesla, right?
It's okay. You know, the charge doesn't last as long as they say.
How you think women feel about their little toys?
No, absolutely.
Sean laughed too hard. It is. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'm telling you, I wouldn't know because I was told if I ever use one, I'll never need a man again. And, like, those toys can't pay bills. And I can't do that. I know. You got to understand. So this poor gentleman had to meet me just, like, 2 days before I'm finished with my what am I on again? Prednisone. That's right. I'm absolutely out of my mind. I shouldn't be in public. I'm on prednisone. When I was on prednisone the last time, they had to take me off a stage, okay? It was terrible. Oh, no. I was on a stage. I said things to children I shouldn't have said. It was horrible. And my best friends came from grammar school, and they were telling me how I needed Jesus when nobody was watching. I mean, they were so down. They were like, Santa, you need Jesus. Look at you. You're a mess. And I just wasn't a mess. I was on prednisone. I was saying dirty things to children. When my husband don't like this. On the table, because he says to me, this isn't a good idea if you're on medication and you go on stage. I was like, I can handle anything. Nobody lets me vacuum. All right. So I just want to tell you what's going on here. I'm your host for this evening. This is called Manic Monday. And what's great about stand-up comedy is that it's for everybody. As anyone can tell you, we have everybody come here. We have attorneys. We have engineers, we have billionaires, millionaires, crackheads, all right? And those are just my relatives. And I wish they were on crack. It's so much cheaper than their sugar addictions, but I can't talk about that. it's just a fun place where you can also get your groove on in terms of doing your podcast, or somebody interviews you for a podcast, and all the things you ever wanted to say. You could be like, well, I was on a show and they kind of forced it on me. And certain people are doing certain things when they're working with me. Your goal is to get a 5-minute industry set, all right? A 5 to 7 minute industry set. Why I say that is because normally it's 5. They change it to 3 sometimes. It goes down to 2. And so you'll see that some people will get a light. When you get that light in this room, that means you have 2 minutes. Show them the light, please. That's what it looks like. Boom. Can't say. Did you see that? You did, right?
I did.
Right.
I felt a little heat, too.
I know that it's really supposed to be for when you guys aren't here and I have my glasses on. I just sit. It'll make my tooth grow back. No, it's not going to happen. I'm being treated. I'm Miss Fang. This is going to be my character. Okay, Miss Fang. All right, we were just talking about the array of services that we do offer here. Self-taping is important. You need headshots. We have an in-house photographer. We have Hunter White here. Where is Hunter White? Hunter White's hiding in the dark. The director of the acting school is also here. That's Aaron McIntyre. I cannot set you up for your social media. Therefore, we have Billy Ramirez, who's also a pro on the AI. And for your finances, because ain't no bromance without finance, we have the one and on Audrey Jackson's here. Yes. You can't wait to meet Audrey. We all love Audrey. And yes, everybody gets to go up here. And so without further hesitation, I'm just going to get to the part where you have a chance to enjoy the talent of America's sweetheart, the one and only Mark Zafran. Let's hear a few minutes of you, Mark. Oh, no.
We can all agree.
You say something about Epstein?
Oh, boy.
You say Epstein or something? You're talking about conspiracies? I think I met him in high school. No, I was saying to somebody the other day, I think he was a friend of mine. He was at Lincoln High School. I distinctly remember meeting him. It's one of those faces that you can't miss. See, my friends, as opposed to what my mother said, they weren't racist, they were perverts. She forgets that all they were doing is looking at her ass and saying, what the fuck is he doing with her? No, I mean it, you know? I've had a lot of that, especially in those days. Like, I wasn't allowed to have a hot woman. But my wife will tell you that all I did have in those days were hot women around me. And she was very jealous. She got rid of all of them, swept them out like a vacuum cleaner, like no one lets her vacuum. It's the truth. You see, racism is a fascinating thing. So many times, racists are just people with living room balls who think they're funny. They heard a racist joke or a racist meme sometimes over their life. They don't know any better. It's friggin' ignorance. You know, when certain things come out of people's mouths, they don't mean to be mean about it. That's just normal. All right? Then again, you got to look at it from the other direction, which is not everything you say is racist either. My kids are very big. No matter what I do, I'm a racist. It's just like, whoa. Well, he ain't black. He isn't even Spanish. I mean, what is it that I said that was racist? It must have been about Mandami. That's their new love. Zoran Mandami. And I figure out why my kids and that whole generation, some of you here maybe today, love him, because he goes to the heart of that thing you like to do least, work. All right? He doesn't believe in work. He believes in a system just like the one he grew up in. Mommy and Daddy were rich. So therefore, there was plenty of money to give out. Of course, everything was free. He's never worked a day in his life. It's easy when Daddy is this highfalutin, uppity, educated professor at Columbia, spouting complete bullshit. In my day, you didn't get a professor for that type of shit. Anti-colonialist studies. What are anti-colonial studies? Oh, I know. Columbus never should have found America. All right? I don't want to hear all the revisionist stuff that he really was heading to the Indians. He didn't do this. He didn't give a shit. He was Jewish. He was getting his ass out of fucking Spain when they were kicking it. All right? Take my word for it. He was coming back and saying, look, I'm a good Jew. The rest of them, all these conquistadors, what it compelled them to be conquistadors, if you think about it, was not colonialism. It was religion. Religion, and organized religion in a lot of respects, is the greatest fomenter of migration, especially the negative type, like Mongols coming out of the East, or what's worse. Let's face facts of what really is about the world today. Why is it that Islam boiled out of the Arabian Peninsula and tried to conquer everything? Well, Muhammad told them to. And he said God told him to say that. And then you have it all over history. This one comes after this one because of their religion. Religion and all that. I mean, I like religion, makes you feel good, faith makes you feel good, but killing people in the name of religion, that makes no sense. In Europe, in the 1630s, they killed people depending upon who believed whether or not Christ was God. I mean, come on. How many times can you argue about transubstantiation and the Tridentine Creed and then kill people about it? You know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, who cares? And the Russian Orthodox do it backwards, and they get pissed off. They argue who's Christmas. They killed each other and that. The Islams come out of Mohammedans. Mohammedans came up to attack Vienna. They got together then. And what did you see? A bunch of crazy gay Polish guys on horses with wings behind their backs, flying down there. The famous hussars. Look, it's a crazy world. No question about it. You know. But we want to talk about real things before we talk about Mr. Mamdani. You know, we can talk about Joe Biden. All right, he finally did something in the last couple of days that made me laugh again. I've been missing my Joe Biden humor forever. Joe Biden went to speak to the New York Times for exactly 5 minutes and said, I authorized the auto pen. But on the other hand, I didn't say who had to be pardoned. I said, okay, there's a contradiction in terms here. So here is Joe Biden says, it was all me. I made every decision. Then 5 seconds ago, he goes, oh, no, I didn't make a decision. What'd you do, Joe? I set parameters. And I told my staff, listen, within those parameters, you know, you can pardon whomever you like. I'm going to go take a nap. So what did they do? The last 2-3 days of his day, pardoned 2,500 crack addicts. It's what it was. 2,500 people in jail for crack. Now, look, Joe. Okay. I know it's a big thing of the left that crack was unfair and that the sentencing was bad, especially in federal. But maybe you should check to see whether some of the people weren't only there on crack. Like a few of them could have been rapists. A couple could have been murderers. It's a good thing they were all in their 60s. Think about it. There's Aaron in the corner. He loves this. These liberals love that shit. Let him out. Turn him loose. You know, turn him loose. When I was coming up as a lawyer, there was a judge in New York called Turn Him Loose Bruce McCright. All right. Yeah, he turned him loose. He was liberal, but he's not like anything today. Bruce at least knew how to try a civil case. These guys all they know how to do is say, "Oh, yeah, you're a marginalized person. The landlord can't collect rent from you. Look at you, blue hair." Pallor in your face, those eyes bulging out. But you did boot up today before you came to court. Well, make sure you're keeping yourself well. Next case, think about it. There's an entire world out there of judges looking at people and saying, oh, you're marginalized and abused. How much marginalization can we have in this country? There are so many people who claim to be marginalized and abused. Not a single one of them live with my mother. What do you expect? Not a single one with my evil, wicked grandmothers. They're not there. Just because you got blue hair and think you're a man, or green hair and think you're a woman, put on a dress, that don't make you marginalized, all right? That makes you a crazy Jew from Brooklyn. But think about it. That is the epicenter. Wait, we won't get to Portland, Oregon. You know, they messed with Sundar in Portland, Oregon. She put a curse on him. Next, that was a mighty curse because that whole city sucked. So where did the teachers decide to hold their conference in which they voted to elect anti-Semitism? Portland. That's because they knew Antifa would be outside guarding the conference rather than attacking it. Think about it. Portland's a sick place, man. We're going to have to sterilize it somehow. I don't think bleach will work. They'll claim I'm a racist. Duh. You think that? You're right. You can't whitewash Portland. Oh, no, that's racist. Now, maybe you can pinkwash. Oh, no, that's racist. Listen, the end of the day, the funniest thing I've seen in a while has to be, it was today with Hakeem Jeffries. Anybody know who Hakeem Jeffries is? The Speaker of the House, triumphant, who wants to be back there. Hakeem Jeffries said, you can't believe what they're doing. You can't believe what they're doing. They're pulling people out of synagogues. They're pulling them out of churches. They're raiding schools. They're raiding hospitals. It's like, huh? So a guy was in a hit-and-run accident. He hit somebody and ran and got it and ended up smacking up his car in the hospital. Well, the police were there to arrest him. You really think it's intemperate to say, by the way, ICE, he's in your jurisdiction? I mean, think about it. From the point of view of the cops, letting ICE arrest these people is a net positive. That means the feds have to pay for them. If you keep them in county jail, you got to pay for them. And you got to watch them. And you got to put up with them. And you got to smell them. So today, I'm coming out of my car, right in the back here. All right? I have a flashy red Mustang. Not as flashy as some other red cars. And all of a sudden, I'm finally afraid of a homeless guy. No, it's like, okay, you look like you could not only take my ass, but it looked like you could take on a Maltese dog next to me. I said, what are you doing on the street? And then it brings you back to, why is this hefty guy who could be pounding rocks somewhere on the street? And, when he goes to the hospital, you're paying for him. He's on Medicaid or Medi-Cal, all right? He's a husky guy. And if, you're crazy and you can't work, they can always put you in irons and make you work that way. Just bring back the chain gang. My wife is black, always talks about bringing back the ass whooping, all right? That helps you when you're a kid. They figured in other places the chain gang helps you, when you're adult. But they don't need the chain gang anymore. This is my final jibe against hypocrisy, all right? Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's brilliant husband, made $45 million this past year trading stocks, all right? On the other hand, many of those stock trades, of course, were perfectly on time. Not that we want to talk about inside information. So, what business are the Pelosi's and the Newsoms actually in? After they raided the John Paul Getty estate, they own vineyards. The first words out of their mouth are, if we throw out these illegal immigrants, who's going to pick the crops? So here's the real question, without calling me a racist, which is my biggest issue as to why the Democrats let all these people cross the border. What was the plan? And now we know the plan. The plan was indentured servitude. They want to create and take advantage of these people at least for the next 12, 15 years. Then they're going to promise their kids, we'll make you citizens, but you first have to work for 5 more years for the Democratic Party. It is a scam. It always has been a scam. It always will be a scam. All right? I don't know what happened to Cesar Chavez. Where is he when they need him? I thought he fought against this one. Was it the Venceremos brigades and the United Farm Workers against people being totally abused in these farms? So after that generation was educated, and they actually are, some of you may have parents who are, were farm workers, but they want to bring in a new crop of farm workers. But this is worse now because not only are they bringing in the farm workers. When they busted those 350 people at a marijuana thing, why was it 10 of them were rapists and 14 of them were underage juveniles? Riddle me that. All right, then. And now I will say, oh, no, you're racist.
You're racist.
Which reminds me, I saw Alex Padilla on today. I have my doubts about him. I may be on the down low a little bit. He doesn't look right. He's saying, well, what would happen if, I like to do some crafts. I said, really? I said, I could just see you with a hammer in your hand. I've never met somebody who got out of that business that wants to go back in. Well, I do something. What if I was at Home Depot? I said, what, in your designer khakis? All right.
Wow. You have enough to say, huh?
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's what started the whole fight, okay? Is that my daughter runs out and goes, Daddy, what is it? And I go, he has a stomachache. She goes, what did he eat? I said, Indian food. And she goes, that is so racist. Is it racist? And we're just stating facts here. That's it. I don't know what it is, but we got the comedy of Sean Taggis. Let's do this, Sean. Let's do this stuff.
What up, people? How's life? All is well? Cool. Everyone calls me Sean. Like, Sean Taggis is like what most people refer to me as. My full name is Shondiz. And, I'm 26 years old, so I did grow up in the D's Nuts era. So if I said Shondiz and D's Nuts popped into your head, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not the first, Life's been decent. I feel like people have been on a mission to humble me lately for no reason. Like, I tried growing a mustache, and I thought it looked good. And then someone told me I looked like Freddie Mercury. with more AIDS. I was like, they weren't even quantifying AIDS at the time. Also, this girl I work with saw me walking with my girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, Sean, I saw you walking with your girlfriend the other day. I've never seen your comedy. You must be so funny. Implying she's hotter than me, so I must be so funny in order to bring this out. I don't know. I think it's like a whole thing. Everyone's trying to humble men lately. Like, I work at a bar. I saw this guy trying to shoot his shot with a girl, and she just clapped back. Look, it's never going to happen between us, Marco. I'm a lesbian, and you're poor. Which is mean, because I know you could have gotten away with just one of those. There's no world where you had to say both. I'm fascinated by lesbians in general. I mean, so many questions. None of them are sexual. Okay, some of them are most of them aren't sexual questions. Like, it's just stuff like who pays on a lesbian date, you know? I'd imagine it's whatever man is seated closest to the table. That's why I sit at the bar if I'm ever alone. I'm not paying for 3 people. You know, I've written these jokes quite a while ago, and then very recently my girlfriend broke up with me and said she was lesbian. So, you know that like Japanese principle where like if you write stuff down, it's going to happen? My next joke is going to be about how I won the lottery and won head for life or something like that. It's just, I didn't know I could bring this upon myself. So I'm back on the single scene, hitting the bars. You know, I live too close to a college, though, is the problem. It's like everyone at the bar is like 21, 22. I'm 26. That's a whole different world. Some girl told me, she's like, I've never read any of the Harry Potter books because J.K. Rowling is homophobic. That's a joke. I've never read any of the Harry Potter books because wizards are gay. That is the default setting of wizard. I have these two roommates. They're both in college, so you know they're always going on dates. You know, that's at that age, I guess it's a little easier. I know one of them's on a date right now because he asked to borrow my cast iron skillet. I was like, why do you need that? They're going out tonight. I was like, listen, Sean, it's my fucking move, all right? If I cook for a girl, she always fucks me. I'm like, that's super impressive, all right? Because when I was in college, I barely knew how to roofie a liquid. And this guy, he's putting it in food. Is it in the butter? Is it in the oil? I don't know. I'll ask him when he gets home. I'll figure it out. I don't do that. When I'm desperate, the worst thing I'll do is join an improv troupe because, you know, they're young, they're involved in the community, and they literally can't say no. You know, it's just yes and. You can push the envelope a little bit. I don't know. I don't know why I'm in a rush to like make things work out with any girl. You know, I'm not for having kids right now. I have some coworkers, they have kids. This guy works in the kitchen, 8-hour shift, sends money home. Then he works on the floor, 8-hour shift, sends money home. I remember the restaurant closed down during COVID. He got a job cleaning houses to send money home. And then when that company closed, he went to the army to send money home. Like, if you have a kid, you got to be willing to do anything to avoid seeing that kid.
Yeah.
Like, you might have to go to the army, and it just doesn't seem like something I'm prepared for. You know, once you have a kid, there's so much more to do. You got to worry about what are you going to name the kid. I swear, whatever you name the kid, it's a guarantee they're not going to be that thing. You know, there's no Masons building anything, all right? They're in a frat, certainly. I've met them, all right? If a girl is named Melody, I promise you she can't sing. I had a friend named Guy, and he's trans now. So it's just even, no matter how basic you make it, it's a guarantee it's not going to happen. All right? And then you got to be worried nowadays, is my kid going to have autism? I want my kid to have autism, personally. But, like, only the cool card counting kind, you know? I can go to Vegas, make some money. Worst case, if that doesn't work out, they could always go work at the vape factory, you know? Because no one else can describe what blue mint is supposed to taste like other than an autistic child. I think. I don't know. I haven't fact-checked that. I bought some Girl Scout cookies recently. They have affiliate marketing links now. They don't need to bother you at the grocery store. They're doing it for fun, okay? Literally, they can send you the link on Facebook, and it goes, it credits their daughter or whatever, all right? So my mom sends me a link, support your cousin. I'm like, you know what? Sure. I'm going to go ahead and buy this Girl Scout cookie, buy it online, and there's 2 shipping options, all right? You can either arrange for 2-day shipping with Amazon, or you can arrange for the Girl Scouts of America to drop it off at your house. What pedophile is this for? I'm not a pedophile, and I'm afraid to click that. I'm going to be added to some list. I just closed the window right away and just Googled how to roofie solids. You know? I don't know. I'm not gonna be good with this new dating now that I'm single. I just have like this feeling, like I'm always feeling like I'm getting scammed, like everywhere I am. You know, it just is not. I'm overly suspicious. You know, I took a Frontier Airlines flight, and there was a $20 fee at the bottom, and I was like, "What is this fee?" Like, this is the 9/11 security fee. It's July. I'm not gonna fall for that shit. I didn't take it down though either. I bring it up. I'll bring it up every time. It doesn't do anything. I'm overly cautious when I date women too. Like, I remember I lined up a date with this girl I used to work with. I'm like, why don't we go meet at this bar? And she's like, oh, I love that bar. My boss lives right down the street. All I read was, I fuck my boss. How do you know where your boss lives? I don't know where my boss lives. I have 2 dumb college roommates trying to be the voices of reason. It's just like 2 devils on your shoulder. And one's just like, listen, bro, you can't go out with this girl. She fucks her boss. The other guy's like, we don't know that she fucks her boss. The boss could be a woman. You know, and the other guy's just like, look, it's a very residential area, all right? Not many women own houses. Very sexist. I look to the other guy, are you going to say something? And he just goes, it's rare. It ended up not being a problem at all. I get to the date. Turns out her boss is a woman. She rents in the area. Right? I don't know. People think I have like just the worst taste in women. My mom thinks I have the worst taste in women. That's just because my first celebrity crush was Casey Anthony. Look, Casey Anthony, I don't even know. She's making a comeback right now. And she's on Peacock. She's married to her defense lawyer, which is, whoa. I mean, I know he worked a miracle for you, but it was enough for you to fall in love with that guy? That's crazy. Dude, Casey Anthony's still hot. She looked better on that show than she ever did, personally. If you're at the club and Casey Anthony is throwing it back on you, you're going home with her, all right? And you're not using protection either, because you know she's not keeping that kid, right? That lady had an abortion at 33 months. You think she's going to keep that kid? It's fine. There were signs that my girlfriend was lesbian. I looked back. I'm like, you have multiple photos where you're wearing a bandana on your head. That should have been enough. But, you know, for a lesbian, like, when your girl comes out as a lesbian to you, it's like you don't even get to be mad or you're homophobic. But you're also not allowed to, like, Venmo request them for half of everything you've ever spent on them. They get upset. They're like, what? Come on. What's the issue? There were signs, you know, in the bedroom. Like, why is it that when I give you a massage, this is the loudest I've ever heard you moan? You know? I don't know. I'm just like, I'm overly suspicious of everything, you know? I'm overly suspicious of police dogs. I don't believe it. I think it's just like the same thing as people who think crystals have healing powers. It's like, oh, the dog told you there's drugs in the car? Well, my dog told me I'm innocent, and I'm calling him as a star witness. I wasn't even there. Listen to the words of my dog. What are we talking about, guys? Chiropractors, fake doctors, completely. I think that shit was discovered by accident. They were doing medieval torture. And the guy reports back to the king, look, 1 crank, nothing. 3 cranks, dead. 2 cranks, they fucking love it, though. Can we do something about this? All right, thank you, guys. My name is Sean. You can find me on TikTok at Sean Tagdis, Taghdis.
THHD. Yes, you hear that? You got that spelling?
Got it?
Good, good, we got it. All right, we're going to switch seats if you could. Could you switch with him real quick, Audrey? Thank you. Because I wanted to bring up this this next person who's really done quite a great job helping people that, I'm going to say this, I think it's if you got cold copy you got to deal with, this is a place you have to stop before you go on your audition. You just have to do it, any kind of copy you have. But this is like the time is now where you've got to know copy, you've got to know what if you're still going to do a monologue. Some people say, oh, you don't have to do a monologue. I still have a monologue that's not my own. As comedians, you can have your own, or you can have this gentleman that's the director of the Film Actors Cafe do it for you and show you how it's done. So let's have some fun with the one and only Aaron McIntyre. Let's do this.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Good? Good? Yes, I am a racist. There's one specific race that I really hate, and that is the human race. Yeah, there's like a lot of bad people out there, you know? I agree. There's one thing that I wonder about the immigrants is, when are we going to get rid of the French? You know, Jesus Christ, those people are annoying. Oh, I am so good. I am so special. Yeah, no, I'm not racist. Some of my best, my favorite clothes and textiles are made in foreign countries by people of color, right? I think it's really great. There's crossover everywhere, I mean, I had a plate of sushi that was made by an Italian guy, and I had a burrito made by an Asian guy, and he couldn't even say burrito, which, burrito. Okay. What else? Yeah, and I wouldn't want to have a foreign girlfriend, because then she could just talk behind my back right in front of me. I don't need that. And the Spanish music, though, it's like it stays consistent. You know what I mean? It's got that. But the thing that's really good about it is that English words, you got like Pearl Jam, you can't understand what the hell they're saying. But I can understand every word they say in the Mexican songs, right? If I understood it Spanish, anyway, I would, but I don't. And I think there's a lot of appropriation, like the white people, right? The white people are now starting to try to appropriate apartheid down in South Africa. They're trying to appropriate that. I think that there should be some outcry. I think we should cry out. Cry out. Yeah, the illegal aliens, yeah, Persians, Japanese, all of the brown people. All of the people who aren't Christian whites, like even the Irish. But it's only the black Irish, because you can't tell the other ones apart from the other white people. And the Italians. And it's really, really terrible. I do have a problem sometimes with the vernacular, the way people talk to each other. If another person says, do you know what I mean? Or you see what I'm saying? Or you understand, yes, I understand. If I don't, I will tell you. But it's like every other sentence is, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You see what? And then it's really bad when they say, you feel me? Because fuck no, I am not going to feel you. Forget about it. And like, and then when like people say, have a good one. Have a good one. It's like a good what? A good one what? Is it a good day? Is it a good year? Is it a good week? Is it a good lay? Is it, I don't understand. And I do have to say that to all the people who have ever wished me a good one, whether it be day or week or month or year or lay, don't fucking tell me what to do. Okay. Don't tell me what to do. If I want to have a good day, I will. The thing that I really like is that now I can say, I swear on my mother's life because she's dead. It's really great. So I can fool people. I did go out and try to take care of her, did a really great job because she died, and that's what she wanted. So, you know, what can I say? I aim to please. I'm a people pleaser, you know? The other one that really gets me is when you go into a grocery store or especially like a boutique or Bed Bath and Beyond or Bath and Body Works. Was that where Sam worked? Bath and Body Works. And they come up and they say, "Feel free to look around." Like, you don't have to tell me that. I do already feel free. We live in a free country. You have a store. You want me to look around. That's what I came in for. Let me do my job. Please. The other one is, when they say, "Can I help you?" And I just always look at them and I say, "No, nobody can help me!" And then I run out and I can always come back and nobody messes with me after that. Will that be all? Like we come up with things one at a time. And it's like, no. I've got a whole grocery list here, and I'm just going to bring the lettuce up and then leave that here. Don't know where I'm going. I will bring up something because I do have a little bit of a beef with the way some of the the real evangelical Christians, right? A lot of the evangelical Christians are talking about, we need more babies. We need more babies. We're going to go extinct. It's like, we're going to go extinct? Have you seen the world? Have you been to a big city? Do you understand that God did not, he said, be fruitful and multiply. He did not say, be impoverished and multiply anyway. Right? Don't want to get rid of those people. Which, by the way, I'm a little disappointed there aren't more people of color. We got Billy. Thank you. Token. We got Sunda over there. Token. See, even Audrey left, you know. Yeah. Because I don't like white people. White people are very judgy. They judge you a lot, you know. And black people and Hispanic people, they've already convicted me. So I'm good, you know. I am guilty of being white and bald, and I've got like a belt line where the fat goes down below and up above, you know. It's terrible. I've got like a butt in the front of my crotch here. So what I was getting at with that is that I've made a code of ethics, so I don't give money to homeless white people. Just don't do it. Won't give money to people who are standing on the street corner like doing, you know, like freezes and juggling and shit like that, because they don't need any money. They need an agent. Just get these guys an agent and they're good. Don't give people money who have pets because they've got dinner right at the end of the leash, you know? I mean, looking right there, dude. Just cook it up, you know. They got. But I will date a homeless woman because no matter where I drop her off, she's home. And I'm going to end on that because I got a chuckle. I like that. Appreciate it. You've been really great, and I've loved you all immensely. Not physically, of course, but maybe later. Okay. Let's bring up Sunda.
What he wanted to say is that on a Tuesday.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yes,
You can do that for me.
I was saying that if you wanted to drop by on a Tuesday to do that, that's what we're doing. That I need to drop by too, just so I could be tight. You know, like I don't know the last time. When's the last time you ever did a monologue? Right?
Never.
Think about that. It's a long time. And if just somebody throws you on the spot, you're lucky because you're comics, but you're not always going to be lucky. I want to see if she can work that board with you, Aaron.
Okay.
Let's see, because we need more women in the house, so we have you. So we have you over here, Aaron. You know something? I don't even know what I'm reading here, but that's okay. I've got it. It's good. We've got it. Let's do it. I'm not going to be a failure because I've got 5 minutes with the comedy of Jared Taylor. Woo. So then we're going to light him at 3. 3. Got it.
Hey, it's great to be with you all tonight. Fairly new to Los Angeles. I've only been here for 2 years now, and I'm going to lay out a story that it's a tragedy, goddamn tragedy that I've gone through. But the clock does not stop. I'm just out there hustling. I've got a house I'm paying a mortgage on a house in Utah, rent on a house here in LA that my wife and I moved down to about 2 years ago. But I am going through what's called a splituation. She has parted ways, and we're going through a divorce. She's actually coming out here this coming weekend. We're going to sort through our apartment. She's going to take her belongings out. Not looking forward to this, but splituation, I don't know. We've got 3 kids, and I don't know. I think she strategically made it such that she, she's parting ways. We've got 2 kids in college and 1 who's a working professional. But, I had a lot of good, we married for 25 years. And, Catherine was somebody she was beautiful. She was somebody that had a lot in common with. We were both raised in Mormon households. I was kind of raised as a fish out of water. I was raised by 2 Utah Mormons on the East Coast in Maryland, and I knew I had to find my counterpart, and that was my future wife. She was this blonde-haired girl raised in Utah. We were both the oldest of 6 kids, and we didn't meet at college, but we just met really fresh out of college there. But so we get married, have kid number 1. It was probably a bit too soon, but we got out there. We had kid number 1, then moved on to kid number 2, and then eventually child number 3, and we're out there hustling. We're living on the East Coast, and she decided this being a stay-at-home mom, it's not working for me. I think I'd like to go back to college. So I put her through a PhD program. She studies art history, and it's rough, but we're making it work. I'm working double time, and so we get the kids raised up. We got our oldest. We got her landing in college, and we eventually did move to Utah, where she was raised. She wanted to get back home, get closer to her family, which we made that work. And there came a point in time in which, we were ready to, our work positions ended in Utah, and we moved down here to LA just 2 years ago. And she's like, Jared, I think I need to put my PhD to work. I think I'm ready to. And I'm like, hey, it's perfect. LA, they've got a beautiful art scene here. We've got the Getty Villa. We've got, Huntington Library. There's plenty of opportunities, a lot more so than what Utah had to offer. But she's like, I'm thinking the ancient world. I'm thinking, places perhaps where Saddam Hussein would have roughed his way into a country called Kuwait. And I don't know, not quite knowing what that meant, and I just persevered and moved on. But I took a job here in LA in preparation for the Olympics. They've been doing lots of prep at LAX airport, so moving forward with that. And she's getting engrossed in her work, and she eventually, she says, I'm thinking we moved to the East Coast, and I'm thinking, what? We just got here to the West Coast. We're here in Los Angeles, and I'm thinking Far East. What are you thinking, Queens or something? And no, she's thinking Kuwait. And I said, what? And she's like, Kuwait City. And so before too long, I'm packing up the bags of my sweetheart, my fresh out of college sweetheart, and she's taking this job in Kuwait. And, I'm thinking to myself, our love has no real geographical boundaries. We can persevere through anything. We made it 24 plus years. Here we have a house in Utah. We were, hustling here in LA, got opportunities going there. So she takes this job in Kuwait on kind of a trial basis just to see how it goes. And it turns out that, they have a crazy HR department. I mean, people are getting fired for the most like arbitrary reasons. There's a male teacher that touches the hand of a female student and he's gone. And then you got one who's like phones in sick and gets advance notice. But when he comes back, he finds there's no job waiting for him. So there's no like equal opportunity employer type protections in Kuwait. Now, needless to say, you are on the equator. Like you are like, the sun is like bearing down on you 100%. And you've got cars like veering in and out of lanes. Like there's looking like Mad Max beyond the Thunderdome out there. But there's aspects to it that she's like. She's putting her PhD to work. She's teaching and enjoying that. And so I'm thinking, am I going to have to find a job there in the Middle East? And so I just put it out there. Hey, honey, like I should come out there, get a plane ticket. I've always been successful finding work, kind of networking out there. And she's like, no, well, you just stay put, have faith. Just like keep sending perhaps some applications through web portals. You can find a job out there. But I don't know if I really want to work out there. I mean, I hear about crazy safety, construction safety. I'm in the construction industry. And so I don't know, you hear things about people being sent to their deaths to put in like placing concrete on major buildings out there. So I'm not 100% if I'm totally bought into that. But she thinks to herself, you know what, Jared? We should be an international family. And one way we can do this international family scene is we buy a house in southern France. And this could bind us all together, furthering the fact that our love knows no boundaries. And and I do it. We buy this house in Provence, southern France, and we go out there, we meet together as a family. But his, I don't know, I feel like I am spread myself pretty thin there. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, where is this going? And so, I think like, hey, I'm thinking about coming out there. And she says, you know what? My apartment is being monitored. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, are you under some kind of house arrest? And, and she's like, well, they're keeping us away from strange men here. And I'm thinking, I'm not some strange man. I'm your husband. I'm the father of like 3 of your kids here. So, and then, I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself, is she crazy? Like, there is just this, like, crazy logic going on here. And she happened to we had this prominent contact there in Kuwait. And I was like, we should put him to work. Perhaps he can find me a job there in Kuwait. And she's like, no, let's not call in that favor on, getting you a job. So anyway, it's just, she said let's not waste that favor on getting you a job. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'm seeing your true colors coming out here. And it is just nuts because like I've been married to this woman for 25 years and like she is starting to pull away from me. And that is just one thing I'm going through. But, I'm going to come out better on the other side of this. I know that through what we're going through, we got the French house on the market. Things are going to get back to normal in some way. I'm probably going to be able to breathe. Some anxiety is going to come down at the end of this. But, hey, you've all been a great audience. I appreciate being with you tonight. And what's that?
Where are they going to find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's under JT Springer on Instagram. So look for me out there. Thanks.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
Now, let me just show you something real quick. So I just want to tell you, I'm a nice guy. Been married for 25 years, and I always try to make my wife happy. When she said she wanted to get a job and continue her studies, I even paid for her classes. She wanted to go to the East Coast. I didn't know it was going to be the Middle East Coast. Until she said, you know what, this is going to be great. I'm going to Kuwait. I'm thinking Kuwait. But I said, well, I'm a nice person. And she said, let's bring this marriage together. If we got a house in the south of France with our 3 children that we've accumulated these 25 years, this will bring our marriage back together. And I said, you know something? Before I do all that, I'm going to come out to be with you and get a job there. And I said, don't you think that's a great idea? She says, absolutely not. And I said, but we have that contact that we made. Remember the guy that says anything you need? She goes, we have to save that favor. That's where you have to be. And then you would be still with you still have 30 seconds of your first minute left.
Okay.
People, places, names, things. let's have the whole get up now. Because what are you doing? I'm thinking you're sitting in the house wrapped in swaddling clothing, just showing your ankles. You're telling me you're being monitored. Who's monitoring you? What do you mean, strange people? I'm your husband. Now, the problem is, of course, that it's not that much difference being Mormon and being Muslim. Wives, how many?
Multiple.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you're a nice guy. Your callback is, but I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. But at the end, you gotta be, I'm not fucking stupid, okay? She's hiding somebody in a cave somewhere.
Yeah.
All right? Maybe he's rolled up in a rug in that house, but I'm gonna find out. And then you can get to everything, and it'll blossom, it'll bloom. Until you take out that filler, because you're gonna eat your own time. Because people are going to laugh, and it's gonna throw you the fuck off.
Yeah.
The
Good.
first big laugh you have is going to throw you off. And you want to say something funny, get right to it. By the way, in case you don't know where Kuwait is, it's on the equator. Okay? That's where it is. That's why they call it Kuwait. All right? And let me tell you something about this. She got this job. There's no, let me tell you about this Kuwait thing. There's no DEI. There's no EOF. It's DIE. That's what it is. It's a DIE program. You can die. It's on the equator. That's how hot it is. But I'm a nice guy. I said I would move. You understand?
Yes.
Boom,
Yeah.
bada, boom, bada, boom, bada,
Right. For the
Sorry
jugular.
about that. I had
No,
to do
I
that.
appreciate that. Thank you.
That's what
Thank
we
you very
do.
much.
We got to do
Absolutely.
that. Billy's like, she got you now, motherfucker. How's that feel? No, because we got to do these things, right? Even though we have our ups and downs and long and shorts, let's do the comedy of Lee Shorts. Let's do this.
Woo, baby blue.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I always do. You know, without a good introduction, as I said many times, I feel lesser. I do. Yeah. I got this weekend, went out with a couple, my girlfriend and I, and I always get this, after we have like these talks with this particular couple, I get a critique by my girlfriend about things. And it's always the same, really. It's something I did wrong, of course. And he said, we're going to have kids. We're thinking of having kids. And she's like, why did you hesitate there for a second? You say something really nice. That's wonderful. That's great to hear. And I just stopped for a second, because what seems to pop into my mind when I hear that, it's, so you're going to have a lot of sex lately. That's great. Good to hear. That's wonderful. That's what I want to say. And she's like, no, you don't, you know. And but I really do think of that. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because it's logical, right? That's the way it works. Can't happen with one without the other. But usually I talk about my girlfriend a lot, but I'm not a lot. And I'm not going to do it. It's not fair to you as an audience. It's not fair. You know, I burden you, and I shouldn't throw it all at you. And that's it's not fair to her. It's not fair for you. And I'm going to resist all the temptations to do it. I will stay strong, and I won't say a word about her. No way, no chance. I will not say anything about her. No chance. There's no way. No way. No way. I mean, no chance. Just once a... No, sorry. She's okay. I mean, most of the time. Well, I don't know. And things are getting a lot. Really, we've gone through. We've gone through a lot, and she's really getting a lot. Really a lot worse. Worse. But there's hope. There's some hope. I don't know where that is, but I'll find it somewhere out there. There's hope for me. I mean, I think she's starting to listen to me a little bit more. It's usually like the other way around, right? The guy doesn't listen, but she says she doesn't want to listen to me. And I said, why? Why didn't you listen to me? I mean, and she's like, well, you don't really make good arguments. You don't talk very well. And I said, well, what do you mean? She's like, you're kind of like smart dumb.
Oh my
And I said, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And she's like, exactly. And I said, can you elaborate at that? And she's like, well, this is what it is. It's like this. You say a really good word. It's a very good word, but you use it not quite in the right way. But I give you credit for coming up with the word. So, and I'm like, okay, that's something. You know, I count that. You know, and I said, you know, and I say, you know, I talk to, you know, people that want to listen to me, really. And that's what I do, you know. And I said sometimes, you know, I have to resort to certain things to listen to me. I find that Alexa listens to me a lot. You know, she's always there for me. I appreciate that. I do. But then she gets mad at me for asking these really stupid questions to Alexa. And she's like, stop doing that. Why do you do that? And are you trying to bother me? And I say, no, I have really good questions. And I do ask good questions. She's always there for me. And she's like, okay, can you find some other way to connect with people or things or anything? Do something else, like wander around, not with me around. I said, okay. And I do have a way to, I found someone who will always listen to me. Always. Every time, guaranteed. Telemarketers. It's kind of I like them. I do like them. I have them on speed dial, Sungevity, and ADT. You know, when they call, I'm like, this is it. You know, I can voice all my feelings, everything I want. They'll listen. They really will. And they'll not hang up on me ever. Unlike my girlfriend does any chance she takes, you know. So she's like, okay, get to it. And I'm like, then she hangs up. So I go to the telemarketer. It's like a therapy. It's kind of like a catharsis. You know, I get it all out. And sometimes, you know, I say, you know, they're given their spiel and their pitch. And I say, you know, things like, what do you do when your girlfriend just, like, doesn't want to have sex with you a lot? What do you suggest they do? Is there any ideas? And then they don't hesitate. They just keep going on. And then I come up with some things like, I'm sorry, a tornado's coming. We have to go down the shelter. I'm sorry, I can't talk anymore. And you know, but they're always there for me. So I have to resort to these things. But you know, I do see that when I see it, you know, the Sungevity, I was like, all right, this is it. But I would go on. You know, but anyway, as I said, I'm not gonna, you know, that's enough with my girlfriend. That's enough. As I said, it's you know, it's something that I you know, every day, same thing every day. You know, wants me to do that and that and that. And then I was thinking, you know, my girlfriend's dating again. And, you know, I think about all things he's going through, his dates, and I was like, oh, yeah, that was good. Think of my dates, and, you know, that was, you know, this and that. And then I was thinking, you know, he's had some, like, stalker-type situations. And I have an idea. It's called honestdating.com. All right. You tell the truth. You tell what's going on, you know. And that's how you find someone. If you have stalker tendencies and she has stalker tendencies, that's a match. There you go. She has minimal hygiene. You have minimal hygiene. You smell like Doritos often. You don't know why. You don't eat Doritos. You know, she also has she picks her toenails a lot. And you do sometimes. Perfect. Match. Just like that. You know, my pictures are very old. Now I usually use my pictures to get in bed with most girls, you know. And she's like, oh, yeah, mine. I'm very fat now. You know, I was like, oh, yeah, I lie often. Too. We both lie. I can be a pathological liar at times. She's like, yeah, really? Me too. Me too. So I told my brother that. And he said, that's a really stupid idea. I said, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't want to listen to me? Fine, I'll call a telemarketer. Yeah, or hope they call me, or talk with Alexis. Yeah, whatever, whoever will listen, really. But that's me being me. So I expect it. Happens all the time. But I go on, and then I go on. Yes, I do. Come home, and I do come home to this golden retriever, loves me, thinks I'm the best thing on the planet, and love me, love me, love me. I don't care what you did. Beat up an old lady. Love you, love you, love you. But no standards. No standards. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm good. And I'm thinking, I'm sick of it. All this unconditional love for no reason. I don't deserve it. I kind of want an animal that'll like hold me accountable, kind of like look at me like, what are you doing? Get your life together. It's got to stop now. I'm thinking like an animal like judgmental, indifferent, reserved. And I'm thinking, probably cat. That's it. Cat. Cat goes down next to the cat. The cat's like, what do you think you're doing? Got dirty hands, guilty look in your eye. Look like you've been burying bodies in the backyard or something. Don't even think about touching me or petting me or near me. In fact, just never pet me again. But I go on. And get it through. And someday it'll all work out. And I appreciate you at least listening to me tonight. All right. Have a good night. Bye.
At least, he says. At least. They can't find you.
Oh, you can find me
You can find him at Lee Shorts.
on YouTube.
On YouTube, Lee Shorts. On Lee Shorts. Okay, let's hear it for that sausage. It's called Marquez. I'm trying to rhyme with the name of Billy Ramirez. Come on, let's get up here.
All right, I'm going to try 2 5s here, so let's see how it goes. In action. Thank you very much. This is another, now that we're best friends here, does anyone else here struggle with their confidence, even at, just short periods of time? Like, I've struggled with my confidence my entire life. And looking back on my life for just comedic material and also through therapy, I've realized, I think I know the reason why I've struggled with my confidence. And I think it's because I was raised under the rule of la chancla. If you're not familiar with la chancla, for some women, particularly Latina mothers, it's a piece of footwear and also a disciplinary device. And my mom was lethal with la chancla. She could deploy it, in short hand-to-hand combat. She was like a power slap champion. I don't know if you've heard of that. Or long distance. Like if I was in my room and she thought I was screwing around or doing something I wasn't supposed to, all of a sudden I'd just be minding my own business and just from around the corner, bam, chancla would just hit me upside the head, and it would return to her, like just right to her hand. Like she wouldn't even have to take her eyes off whatever telenovela she was watching. And also, I don't know where she learned how to boomerang a chancla. She's not even Australian, but she could wield that thing with the precision of a Dominican relief pitcher. And it's still actually, I still feel the effects of La Chancla. Like, for example, I live off of Santa Monica Boulevard, and I was walking past Cafe 50s, this little diner, and I saw this lady. She was just eating outside, just finishing up her meal, ready to leave, and she reaches down to adjust her sandal, and I almost dove into traffic. Like, I was not going to take any chances, But to be fair, my mom and my dad, they did their best. They're immigrant parents from Mexico, barely literate, and they did their best. But at the same time, someone's best could be a C-. And and sometimes I wonder what heights I could have reached if I had just taken fewer chanclazos growing up. Like maybe I could have been one of those successful lawyers you see in LA with the billboards all over the place, bilingual, like, did you slip on a churro at Disneyland? Call me, Te partiste la madre con un pinche churro en Disneylandia, llámame. It's like, I don't know. But, or maybe I could have been a VP of marketing at a Fortune 500 company, been successful and have one of those KY 401s or whatever it's called. But instead, right now, I have 5 different hustles going on, just try to get by, one of which is doing moving work, which is nice because it brings in money. And also, sometimes I don't feel Mexican enough. So it's nice to do some manual labor every now and then. But you don't want to hear some middle-aged man complaining about his parents. Again, my parents, they did their best, right? And they sent both my brother and I to college. We both graduated, but only one of us has kind of reached success. And I think it's just I had to do with the chancla because it's. By the time I got to college, I was just so anxiety-riddled and exhausted that I had to just default and fall back to the most generic degree possible there is. Anyone care to guess what that is? That's communications. That's right. Yes, a degree so disrespected that The Simpsons made fun of it while I was pursuing my lucrative communication degree, and I ignored the warning. Just the fact that I'm a middle-aged man trying comedy means that I've ignored all the warnings. All right, so maybe I should start listening to them. But when I was in college, there was an Simpsons episode called Faith Off. Okay, and in this episode, the kicker for Springfield University injures his leg in the big rivalry game. Okay, and in the locker room, Dr. Julius Hibbert tries to comfort the poor kicker, and he tells him, "Oh, I'm afraid your playing days are over. At least you can fall back on your degree in communications." Oh, dear Lord, no. And the kicker goes, "Yes, I know. He's a funny major. Lubchenko learned nothing." Well, now, about 25 years later, that joke is funny to me because it is said that comedy is tragedy plus time, and, well, enough time has passed, and the tragedy is a communication degree. Thank you very much. And scene. Hold on. No. Action. Thank you. Oh, geez, I already forgot. Oh, so wait. What's the second one that I'm doing? Right. Oh, dang, I forgot it. I'm used to just going. I'm not used to stopping in the middle of, how do I start that one? I should be able to improvise. I did 4 out of 8 weeks of improv comedy, but, yeah, anyways. Yes, and, geez, I completely blanked on my second one. I remember the end. So, hold on, just think about it. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. The Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire. Right. Is anyone here else getting older? Is it just me? Yeah. So I'm in my 40s now, and I just have to accept the fact that I am not, have never been, or never will be a badass. Like, for example, like if I were in the movie Die Hard, it would have been 15 minutes long and called Dead. And I mean, now in my 40s, like I just have to accept things about myself. Like, for example, if I were given the opportunity right now in my 40s, I know with 100% certainty that I would never, ever, ever, ever try to outrun a fat cop. Like, that's for sure out the window. Like, and just like, but also just ignoring the fact that they're all so shooty and they have drones and whatnot. Like, I don't think a fat cop, or any cop for that matter, is going to give me 10 to 15 minutes to lightly jog in place to warm up so things don't end tragically for me. Because if I were to run right now from a cold dead start, I'm for sure blowing out an ACL, MCL, PCH, WNBA, what have you, as a TV VCR combo, which is how old I am, an O-ring, which is a new concern now. I don't know if it's obvious from the everything, but yes, I am Latino. I'm a Mexican-American, first generation, and I hablo español, and I have a piece of trivia for you. You're going to love this. Okay, I have a piece of Spanish trivia for you about the band Maroon 5. So check this out. I bet you didn't know this. Did you know that the band Maroon 5 has a different name in Latin American countries? Yeah, that's right. In Latin American countries, Maroon 5 is known as Cinco Putos. And that's true because I saw it on Wikipedia when I put it there. Okay. What's that? Another band joke? Sure, how about this one? You know my favorite thing about the band Mumford & Sons? Is that we know exactly who to blame. Yeah, so when I get a chance to hablar español, I just go completely overboard. Like, for example, when I go to a Mexican restaurant or a taqueria, and I overhear someone order something like a chicken quesadilla, chicken fajitas, chimichanga, something like that. By the way, it's a tragedy that the singer Celia Cruz and the actor Eric Estrada never teamed up for anything. They could have had a show called Chips and Salsa. That one's on the house. Thank you very much. But whenever I hear someone order something in that funky manner, then it's my turn to order. I just cannot resist going overboard and basically start acting in a telenovela that nobody's shooting. Just all of a sudden, I just get all, ¿qué tal? Preciosa. Doesn't matter who. Señor Preciosa. En este momento, yo deseo 3 tacos de carne asada, una tostada de ceviche, un pescado zarandeado y una peña fiel. Gracias, por favor. Muy amable. Buen provecho. Que Dios te bendiga. And then, when I'm feeling extra confident, I'll just throw in some bonus words like, entonces, por supuesto, crepúsculo. The problem is, I have this face and demeanor, so sometimes I'll order in fluent español, and then in return I'll get a, okay, do you want hijo de tu? Fine, Jose, I will have some of that green whack-a-mole, whatever it's called. Like, I know what it is. But it really doesn't matter where or when I hablo español, because whenever I do, I just go completely overboard and basically turn into one of those Latino reporters you see on the news. I don't know if anyone still watches the local news, but if you do, pay attention to any reporter whose last name ends in EZ, and there's a very good chance that reporter is going to take any and every opportunity to celebrate the rich cultural tapestry of the Spanish language. And that's how I hablo español, like a Latino reporter wrapping up a segment. Something like, police don't have any further information on the suspect. Reporting live from El Camino Real in Santa Clara. This is Gustavo Gutierrez, el mero más chingón, tú sabes, güey, for ABC 7 News. Back to you, Nancy. Thank you. That's my time. My name is Billy Ramirez. You can find me at billyramirez.com and on Instagram and TikTok at middleaged muchacho. So thanks for listening. Please welcome back to stage Rock, our queen, our captain, Sunda Kronquist.
Rock. That's what I do when I stand on stage. I rock. I rock. Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. Say hi. We're here. We're here.
Oh, you're facing that way.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. No wonder we couldn't find ourselves. It's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna get that. I know. I'm gonna get. As I'm trying to hide this tooth. So someone said my sound is off. Did you hear my sound off? Is it off? Do you hear it? Anybody? Off? Not off?
Looks fine. I mean,
Sounds good to you? All right. Because we have somebody that's just gonna introduce himself real quick, and we just got to get him up here. We gotta just say it's not whack to talk to Zach. Zach, get up here. Just say hello to your. Come on. Tell us a little something about you.
Okay. How's everyone doing tonight? So there's a few topics I think that I could probably bring up tonight. I mean, I am Jewish. I'm an attorney. Let's go with the Jewish because I feel like that's always a good topic, especially what's going on in the news today. So I just want to talk about, I know that we had a previous comic said we shouldn't talk about our exes, but I'm going to talk about my ex if you don't mind. So yeah, we broke up. We can talk about her later, but let's talk about just me dating generally. I don't know. I've definitely tried to date Jews, but like, what's the first thing that everyone thinks about when you think of like a Jewish woman? I mean, I think like nagging, annoying, overweight, in your face, in your business. Like that's not what I want to date. So like, if I'm trying to go date someone, do you think I'm going to go for a Jew? But everybody in the Jewish community, they're just like, you have to date Jewish. And I'm just like, have you gone out with a Jewish woman? You go fucking out with a Jewish woman. I don't want to go with a Jewish woman. So yeah, I mean, I'm really reevaluating my whole dating experience. So I did venture out to the Gentiles recently. And yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. No, I've done it before. I dated a Muslim actually once. We don't have to talk about that right now, but I dated this one, I went out with this one girl, but before we even went out, she said,
I have 3 questions for you before we go out. First question, will you become vegan? And I'm like, whoa, like, we haven't even fucking met. I'm already going to determine that I'm going to change to be a vegan. Second question, who did you vote for? Can I be honest with everybody in the room here? I didn't vote. So I panicked and I said, Bobby Kennedy, right? Which I don't think was like, anyone that watches politics, I don't know if Bobby Kennedy is probably the best choice, but I was feeling like she was, hinting at, okay, please say you didn't vote for Trump, which I know we have some Trump supporters, Mark, sorry. But look, I said Bobby Kennedy, and surprisingly, she was actually very receptive to it. But I talked about this with my therapist. Can we talk about my therapist for a moment? My therapist, this is being recorded, I hope she doesn't see this, but she was a former Playboy model, and I'm not joking, and she became a therapist now. And I gotta tell you, for someone that struggles, in the dating world, right? It's pretty great every session you go to with a former Playboy model. It's really inspiring, and I talk about all of these different problems that I have throughout the week. I mean, so, yeah, I'm on these dating apps, and I'll tell you, it's not going well. But one positive that has come of the dating apps and being in the dating world in Los Angeles, I have become an expert in astrology. It's amazing. Like, I know all about the Sagittariuses and about the Virgos. So now when girls are asked, what's your sign? I'm like, I'm a fucking Virgo. I got the rising moon, okay? Do you know about the mercurial, alignment when Mercury and Venus align? I know about that, come on. So, what else? I really wanted to tell you guys about my recent experience with trying to adopt a dog. So, I don't know if anyone's ever been shamed. So I previously bought a dog at one of those stores, and they're like, you didn't rescue? And I was like, okay, all right, so this time around I went, you're gonna love where I went, okay? It's called Dogs for China. So what's the first thing you think about where they were rescued from? He was going to be on the meat trade. And so this boy, what stood out to me about him was he was very plump. And I actually just recently lost 32 pounds, if anyone's keeping track here. It was the Ozempic, but it's a miracle drug and I really love it. So anyways, so I saw this big dog, and I'm like, wow, he looks so great. But, I just decided, and I think there's a reason, why rescues are really a challenge. You think of dogs, right? And it's like, I need a therapy dog. I'm really lonely. I know that we were talking earlier, one of the guys was saying, I don't have a lot. That's why I was thinking of getting a dog. But honestly, I don't know about anyone else, but I struggle on a day-to-day basis. I wake up and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna go eat and live and do everything in this world? I don't think I can do it, honestly. And I'm gonna take care of a dog. And I'm sorry, I met this dog. He's really fucked up. It's bad. So can you imagine me being this fucked up Jewish attorney living in Los Angeles? I can barely fucking keep up with all my cases. And I'm gonna sit here and take care of a fucked up dog? Sorry, I feel bad about it. I've thought about it. I can't do it. So please, no one judge me. I tried to rescue. I tried to do it. But look, I tried my best. So let's see. Anything else I wanted to talk about? My business? Yeah, so you can find me at waiteslawesquire.com. We do tax, trust, and estates. So if anyone needs an estate plan, I am your guy. What else? I could tell you, I think this is just a punchline in itself, but my ex-girlfriend, when we broke up, she said, I'm not attracted to you. And that's the punchline. I got nothing else to say besides that, so I hope that gave you a little chuckle. And that's a true story, too, by the way.
Where can we find you when we follow you?
You could look at my Instagram. It's just mostly pictures of me. This is my first time ever going on stage, to be honest with you. Thank you so much for letting me spend the evening with you. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Was it that bad? Am I that much?
No, I think I did. It was great.
I think you did good,
and everyone
right?
inspired me in the room. So.
And you saw Mark Zaffron on stage, and that's weird.
That was fun. Yeah. He got me started. Yeah.
He got you started. To have to see an attorney that you work with, right? It's really weird to see him on stage.
It seems like when I worked with him, it was the same stuff.
The
same material. So.
And then he goes, my wife. That's how he calls me. He says, my wife. I'm wearing this hat so nobody looks at my tooth that's missing. But I have to tell you something. Just a few minutes. I just want to see if I can get her up here for a few minutes. The person that makes this room rock and roll. Let's give it up for the one and only Audrey Jackson. Can you do a few minutes for us, Miss Jackson? Oh, yes. Come on, Miss Jackson. That's what I say. Come on, she's Action Jackson. Yes.
Hello, good evening, everyone. How's everyone feeling? Good, awesome. Sunda, she loves to pull me up here. I'm not prepared at all. So this is just from the heart. So I am a business consultant, and what I do is make everyone's entrepreneurial dreams come true.
Yes.
Thank you. So people ask me, how did you get into this line of work? And it all started from the first grade, honestly. So it was career day, and police officers came to my school and talked about a day in the life. And I was a good kid, I promise. I was a good kid, but I got in trouble for asking questions. And true. And when I asked the police officer, how much money did he make? I had to have a talk with my teacher, or she had a talk with me, rather. And so I was obedient. I said, okay, I won't do that again. I won't ask, but I'll still find out. And so that led me to be an accountant. And I would just look at the numbers, find out what's going on, what happened, what should have happened, what didn't happen. And that has led me to be a very good problem solver. And so I love solving problems because most of the time, problems are just the result of not reading the fine print. So let me give you an example. I had a client named Mr. Shy. He was a very straightforward guy. He told you exactly what he felt, and he did not care if he hurt your feelings at all. And so I was going through the mail. We got a bill, and in the fine print, it had some type of notice where they can change a variable cost, and the bill just kept getting more expensive over and over each month. And so I went straight to his office. I said, Mr. Shy, why does this bill keep getting more expensive? He said, I don't know. I said, can you pull the contract? I need to look into this. We pulled the contract, and it was all of these terms and conditions that wasn't really rooted in anything substantial. I'm like, is this just a lot of words that don't mean anything? I said, Mr. Shy, I'm going to write a letter. I don't like what's going on. And so I grabbed my letter, my pen, wrote a letter, and I asked them to opt out of all of these irrational fees. We don't need it. Cancel it. We don't need it. And so sent it off. The next bill came, and I said, you know what? If I find one penny out of place, we're going to have a problem. I need to get my pen again, and I'm going to write another letter. And so the next bill came. They reduced fees, but they tried to do something, I don't know. When they do these updates, they try to get crafty. And they try to opt him into a new service after a merge and acquisition. No. Where is my pen? We did not have an agreement with this new company. Our agreement is with you. And what we're going to do is revert back to our original agreement. We're going to keep those fees exactly the same. And if you have a problem, we're going to walk away. They changed it. They acted like they had some sense. So I was okay with that. And so that's what I love doing. I love reading the fine print, the terms, the conditions, and I make sure that what I do for my clients it's going to make a positive impact. My dad taught me how to count money. He did it his way, of course. But what I love about counting money as a child is that he made it very simple. And anytime someone is teaching you something, especially in accounting, and things get really complex, debits, credits, offsets, fancy words, ask them. Just ask them to break it down. Very simple. Money does not have to be complicated. And if you're confused, take another look. Okay? So on that note, I think I'll wrap it up here. Again, my name is Audrey. I am the number fairy. You can and you can find me at the LA School of Comedy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bring up Hunter White for me. Hunter White for me. Can you bring him up?
Of course. And next up, we have the amazing comedy of Mr. Hunter White.
Keep it going for Audrey. I'm just amazed you can write letters and get, huh? Really good. You can write a letter and have people do things. It's going to be a little different tonight. Zach, right? Give it up one more time for Jewish Tom Hardy, everybody. You're very funny for the first time, but I got to tell you, funniest thing you did was ask a room of comedians who needs estate planning. Know your audience. I appreciate that. Going to start with last. It's going to be a little different tonight. I wrote all this like an hour ago because, no, don't woo, because I just went through a breakup. Yeah, we're going to test that whole like safe space idea. Is it cool to cry on stage? I don't know. Yeah, I'm psychotic. It happened on Thursday, but I'm here because comedians are broken. No, I don't know. It's, I called it, like I had to be the one to like end it. And like people say that like that might make it easier, like make it hurt less, but like it doesn't. Like I used to self-harm and that didn't hurt this much, right? Like when I did it on purpose, I couldn't reach this status. But it's interesting because like I could take that hurt and like pivot in life, right? Like now is my time to just get into Andrew Tate and start hating women. Right, but like, alas, I don't. But like, also, if things had like gone like deep south, I realized I could have like a conservative arc, right? Like for my career, that'd be great, right? Especially because she's a therapist who focuses on queer and neurodivergent groups. Yeah, if that'd gone south, I'm just one step away from a Facebook troll, right? The vaccines are making the trans autistic. I like that. Thank you so much. This is good. It was a 4-year-long relationship. Yeah, this week. It's weird. But like that is the longest relationship I've ever had, except for my barber of 10 years. Because like a man and his barber, special relationship, right? And the other one was my plant. I got 2 weeks before lockdown. None of them cared if I talked down to them. I didn't do that. I'm a comedian. I don't think my opinions are more valuable than others, yet think very poorly of them. It's not me. Cool, this is fun. I don't know, in like longer relationships, I realize there's like a moment when you have to like decide, like, okay, we're gonna work. We're gonna like do this. We're gonna put the work in. But like no one tells you that the work is just crying and talking about it. Right? And I don't know about y'all, I love crying. I don't like talking about it. Right? Like I want to cry by myself. You observe, I cry. That's how it works. But I am like proud that we like did the work. Like we like went to counseling, we went to therapy, she went to therapy, I went to therapy, probably not enough therapy, but I went to therapy. And like, I don't know, sometimes things just don't work out. Like everybody not in this room, like their comedy careers, if you're in this room, you're good. We're all gonna be safe. But like out in the rest of the world, things sometimes don't work out. Cool, I thought I'd glaze y'all and it kind of worked. We got 3 more jokes, so we're gonna go through it. it kind of lines up. I'm trying to think of the positives. Like over the last few months, I've talked about like trying to find my place in LA. And what's more LA than not being a long committed relationship, right? Like that's what you do here, right? And like it's a weird feeling because like simultaneously I just want to like make out with strangers, but more so I want to be touched by nobody forever. Like what, like that dichotomy. And it's super hack to like say like, oh, it's such like a different world than when I was single before. But like it is, right? Like I feel like I should get a VR headset because I don't want a relationship, but I'd fuck a computer. Right? Like I could have an AI girlfriend tonight. And I know you're thinking like, oh, Hunter, there's no real feelings with that. Yeah, y'all, I said I dated a therapist. You want to know what I'm not looking for right now? Real feelings. Thank you very much. My name is Hunter White. You can find me on the internet at My Name is Hunter. Have a great night. Be well.
All right. I can't take pictures as good as you, but I could try. All right, so guys, if you're watching and you're wondering how you do this kind of world of comedy, girl, you know you can't walk outside with crazy people. I was going outside to save you because I would have to get Aaron to save you. Let me tell you what Aaron's daughter said to me. I said, thank God your father's here. I was so nervous. There was a homeless guy after me. She goes, you think my father's going to take care of you? Because my father can't protect you. She told me this, and she works in a prison. And Drop Dead Gorgeous. I just want to mention that. So, if people tell you you're funny, you probably are, but you won't know until you take it from the page to the stage. That's right, and I'm so glad we have you on board because we're doing our nonprofit thing. So that's great because we have a nonprofit program because I know we can reduce recidivism in the in this arena of kids. I know we can. They have nowhere to go. That's why. If they can get on stage, they would like get off the street. And honest to God. That's the one thing Debbie Allen did. And Sinbad will tell you, he's the cleanest comic, and he comes in on this, so not that it means anything, but he can work clean, and he would tell you, Debbie Allen gets your kids' butts off the streets. And she does. She gets them off the street and onto the stage. Some do go on a pole, which I wish I could do. That's not easy. You ever try to play around with a pole, make believe you're going to pole dance? You're like, oh, it's terrible. You can't even sneeze. But follow us on all platforms, please. LA School of Comedy. Make sure you watch my special on Prime Video. And it's called Sundar Krunquist Live from Hollywood. And I have to do something about that. I've got to put an ad out. And now you guys can meet technically. And good night, everybody. God bless you. My imaginary music.